Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm gonna talk with you. I'm gonna share with you about the annihilation of caste, book written by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in the year 1936. And I would just like to share something, very just a crux of the book, and we'll just discuss on the annihilation of caste. So, first of all, uh, for your understanding, annihilation of caste, I would just interpret it as AOC sometimes in the conversation. So, just for your knowledge, I'm intimidating you initially only that you just keep in your understanding that AOC means annihilation of caste. So I'll start with my discussion, and if I say so, this is actually it is a written speech by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar in 1936. Now this was the like the Jat Path Todak Mandal. They sends an invitation to Dr. Ambedkar to preside over the annual conference, which is going to be held in Lahore, and they ask him to be present there and preside over the meeting as a president. Now, annihilation of caste is nothing but a speech that Dr. Ambedkar writes to the, which should be delivered in that conference as a president, and which is been organized by the Mandal, Jatpat Todak Mandal. So what the Mandal says, they asked Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar to send a copy of his speech that he may be delivering in Lahore, and accordingly Dr. Ambedkar also sends a copy of his speech. Now, the organizers, when they see the speech which is sent by Baba Sahib, they find some difficulties over his speech and ask Dr. Ambedkar to remove some part of his speech, some paragraphs maybe or some lines here and there, and then deliver. But seeing these gestures of the Mandal, the Jatpat Todak Mandal, Baba Sahib gets, he is surprised why they are saying it so. If they are asking me to preside over a meeting as a president, I may deliver my speech what I feel, what I should be saying, that I know better what I should be saying and what I should say. They should not, ask me to say what they want and what they don't want. So it's my will, and I can have a word on this. So Dr. Ambedkar says, uh, he's just he's not confused, but he's very much annoyed by this. He says, I will not even change a single comma in my speech. And Dr. Ambedkar has made very serious comments in his speech attacking the evil practices of the Hindu religion, which is nothing but Brahmanism. But only on the face of it, it is Hinduism. But only on the face of it, it was. That's what he means. Like, Hinduism just is for the sake of saying it as Hinduism, but it is not Hinduism. It is actually Brahmanism. He attacked the scriptures of the Hindu religion, like the Vedas, the Smrutis, the Shrutis, Puranas, and all those religious scriptures of the Brahmins. The religion which is based on such scriptures, he thought this has to be destroyed, and he very courageously states that thing in his speech. As a result of this, the Jatpat Todak Mandal or the committee gets feared of the high caste Hindus may be annoyed by this, and they may get angry and would attack the conference, and as a matter of fact that communal riots would erupt, right? It may erupt the communal riots, but annihilation of caste is hence, if I say so, it is an undelivered speech by Dr. Ambedkar for the conference, which was supposed to be held in Lahore. On the contrary, which was never held. So, uh, what Ambedkar thought then, because the committee was initially going to publish his speech, as they, gave him an assurance that we would be publishing your speech without, you don't have to, spend even a penny for that. But unfortunately, the conference got, cancelled, and even the speech, because the conference was cancelled, he was unable to deliver his speech. But uh, Dr. Ambedkar, really wanted, he really want to uh, tell the people, like, his views on the caste system and how the annihilation of caste should be done, or whatever he feels that should be given to the public as a message, and they should be aware of what he thinks. So what he finally does is, Dr. Ambedkar then he further publishes his speech from his own expenses. He almost issued 1,500 copies, and which was sold in no time. I mean, they were like, he just published the copies, and it was, these copies were all sold out within very less time. Uh, Now, after selling these copies, it further created a stir in the society, because Dr. Ambedkar says political revolution is superseded only after social revolution. Socialist, mainly the Marxist or the communist, stress. We won't call it the Marxist or the communist. The Babasaheb used to call them as a, socialist. He had a different terms for them. So he never called them as a Marxist and a communist. So to understand, and to make yourself understand, I'm calling them as a Marxist or the communist, but Baba Sahib never called them a Marxist or communist. He always called them as a socialist. So mainly, this socialist or the Marxist or the economists, they feel that the economic revolution the political revolution has to come first, and then only the all the other revolution follows, like the social revolutions and the economic revolutions and all. But Dr. Ambedkar, he totally disagrees with the socialist, ideology and philosophy. What he thinks, like, emancipation of Dalits uh, cannot happen in the if the people of that class are not accepting their, projects, like the program of the annihilation of caste, Buddhism, or etc. So, Dr. Ambedkar explains some theories, as in for caste problems and emancipation of Dalits. Dr. Ambedkar explains in the same contention that caste is not only a division of labor, but also division of laborers, and which is not natural. He explains caste has left no freedom for the individual, because of the religion, which is based on the Varna Ashram Dharma, set in the Hindu scriptures. Once born Dalit is always a Dalit. There is no mobility in the caste Varna Ashram Dharma, and every person belongs to its own zone. Like he says, it is a building which has, 4 floor, without a staircase, without any door or window. Everyone has its own limited, own zone. Is limited to its own zone. No one can transmigrate from one group to the other, or the from other group to the other group. In this context, Dr. Ambedkar further explains that the problem of caste is more out of the race or profession by some of the thinkers, the prominent thinkers of that time. They say that this problem is arising of the race, or the the profession the Dalits choose. But Dr. Ambedkar completely dismisses the racial theory. Okay, and he says that there is no such base for that. Also, no biological base as well. He further gives explanation in that context, for which he says the Brahmin of the north and the Chamars of the north, if you see, there is no race difference, though they belong to the different castes. Their DNA or race is same. And even if you see in the south, the Brahmins and the lower caste has no difference as in race for that instance. Even if you see the case of Maharashtra, even if you say in Maharashtra and in Gujarat, the Savarnas and the Avarnas, if you see, there is no such difference. Uh, they belong to the same DNA and race. So this is totally, this is of no use. Dismisses the view of the race and the profession theory. Now, Dr. Ambedkar strongly believed that he believes that the social revolution has to take place first, then only the political and economic revolution follows. Whereas the socialist says that if the political revolution happens, then all the revolution falls in place, like the social revolution on the economic revolution, all the other revolution is taken care of. Marxists believed that earlier that if political revolution happens, the base and superstructure of the metaphor of mass would be taken care of, and automatically all the things will fall in place. But now, after 70 years of their experience, now they are, they are changing their mood, and they believe that there's no such thing as automation happens. You have to work for that, but still the base and superstructure holds good. And Dr. Ambedkar contains in history also political reforms are preceded by the social reform, and he gives the example of the Rome, or the example of the Shivaji Maharaj. Shivaji Maharaj's political reform is preceded by Bhakti movement, and he gives all those kinds of explanation and examples. And if you see how apt are these examples is a different thing, but he explained the point here. What I want to say is the valid point is that the base and the superstructure of the metaphor linkering with social sphere. If somebody imagines that political change can be brought, and it might appear that political change may come, but it would never last. There you can say that you come just imagine these things happen directly. It has to be dialectical. Further, in this context, with the racial theory, he says we are not a different stock or the race. He never stood off with the Aryan theory, the contemporary relevance of which are into the people in the concept of Mool Nivasi. There is a palpable movement going in the country, like the Aboriginal movement of this land, and we have to fight and drive all the Aryans. And Dr. Ambedkar, he means here is that there is no need to understand that all the projects as an identification project, that we emancipate and capture the power and reverse the scale of the theory. I mean that we would enslave others, that they had enslaved us, and now it is our chance to enslave them. He never meant that, not only in the annihilation of caste, and he also have not mentioned elsewhere also. He stressed about emancipation and rather evolve. That's what he means. He did not mean by any time, like we should reverse the scale and enslave the Aryans now, and it's our chance and we should take all the powers. He never stood for that. And Dr. Ambedkar then further, what he says, he explains that the Arya Samaj works on Shuddhi and Sangathan. He says Shuddhi and Sangathan cannot go around. If the caste, carries Shuddhi, because unless you abolish caste, there cannot be Shuddhi, because caste has a division, and so how you would carry Shuddhi, because unless you abolish caste system, there cannot be Shuddhi, and thereafter Sangathan. Dr. Ambedkar actually, discusses all of these kinds of attempts to which was initiated by the reformers. These were all like the patchy attempts. He discarded all the movements of the patchy about the caste changes. Uh, then he keeps on explaining and describing like caste being around, there is nothing like public for Hindus. Public is a caste and there cannot be such as public here. Everything is divided. Caste constitutes their universe. He says that Varna Ashram Dharma is the basic source of caste system, and caste cannot be abolished by keeping the Varna Ashram Dharma intact. So he again explains that the history of Hindus is nothing but the history of defeats, and all those texts and are associated in is in this context in the book. The histories of slavery and all those references. At the end, he comes to core problem of the question that as to how the caste system can be abolished, and how to abolish this. In the entire speech he mentions how caste is bad, and he describes India cannot progress unless castes are abolished. Then he provides lots many marshals with relating to caste problems like historical facts, data, statements and citations, etc., and all those kind of things to come to the conclusion that there has to be a program for the abolition of caste. So what he does, he moves forward, and Dr. Ambedkar diagnoses the issue, in which he says to abolish caste system, reformist people have many solutions. Like they think the interdining, intercaste marriages, and etc. All those kind of things would, definitely abolish the caste system. This is specially carried out by the Arya Samajist, the Hindu reformist. So Dr. Ambedkar deals with the issues and says that interdining is not a solution for caste problems, but as in intermarriage, he says it can be a solution. But it also has the problem. Why? Because with the issue, he says it can be a solution, but why the people would not be ready to intermarry? He actually finds a virtue in intercaste marriage, because there would be intermingling of blood, and that could be a major problem for the intercaste marriage. He thrives people would not be ready to transmigrate from one group to other, or from other group to the other. Also because of the influence of the religion and the shastra, the people would not marry because the shastras don't allow. And then he systematically comes further and says that what is the solution to abolish the caste system. So he says abolish or destroy these shastras, and destroy the religion which is based on these shastras. Unless this is done, it is not possible that the caste system can be abolished. Now, Dr. Ambedkar further says that your religion, but Dr. Ambedkar don't want to say that. Dr. Ambedkar further says that it would sound like destroy your religion, but Dr. Ambedkar don't want to say that. It is a very interesting fact that what kind of gem Dr. Ambedkar was in real life, and what kind of a core he had. He don't want to give up religion because he wants a religion to stay, but at the same time he wants to destroy the religion based on rules. And Dr. Ambedkar further divides the religion into streams: Hinduism of Shastras, Puranas, Smritis, etc., which gives something like a rule, set of rules, rule book for the Hindus. And he says that religion should be only a matter of principles, and it should not be a set of rules. The moment it is a set of rules, it degenerates into a religion. And he further says that he divides the religion into principles and rule. Now there are a bunch of things which are available as a set of principles for the Hindus. Probably what is it? It is nothing but the Upanishads. And he says probably Upanishads could be a religion for the people. But that now the statement of Dr. Ambedkar for Upanishads has now been taken on a stand by caste Hindus. Hinduism is like, forces has now, they had picked up this line. This says we are prepared to abolish caste system. They would never say explicitly that we are ready to dynamite Shastras, Puranas, Smritis, etc. As Dr. Ambedkar wanted to abolish the rule-based religion and adopt the principle based religion. Now, this actually becomes a threat to the extent that Ambedkar did not want to destroy the Hindu religion, but he wanted to make a reformation in Hindu religion propagated by the Hindu reformers. Now, the root of Dr. Ambedkar wanted the religion to be get reformed. Now, this is the line which is being used by the reformers, that he wanted to, only make some reforms in the Hindu religion. But this is not the case. He always wanted to dynamite the religion which is based on the rules and the scriptures which is are dividing the people and building a caste system. So what he intended to say that the Upanishads is the only scriptures that is there in the Hindu religion, which can be considered for a religion, to be called to be known as a religion. So he intended to use the Upanishads as a religion. That is what he meant here. And because see, the main problem here which focuses that whether he says that the work he says he said you can continue, but I can just say I can just sympathize you, my support will be there, and as a matter of fact, for I am concerned with this problem, but I have to decide to go out of this fold now, because it refers to his declaration here that in 1935 he said I would not die as a Hindu, and I will never die as a Hindu, and then he stops his speech here. So now that we get now what we get from this, what we construe from this, if this is so as to ruling class or ruling class who never give up his privileges, just like that, and Brahmins will not also give their privileges and the power to the Dalits. So Ambedkar says if there is, as he already says that if there is a war between the ethics and economics, there is always with the economics. Ultimately, economic favors, and then here it comes force as the becomes the midwife of the change, the social change, which is what the Marcus has said, which is not a violence but a force. Now, I would not say that he insisted as in use force, but he certainly was not very much comfortable with the kind of work which was going at that time, and he moved out of the Hindu fold and decided not to be in that same religion. Later on, he also embraced Buddhism. But now he says when all those things happens, what the Marxist has said, uh, to take the social change, there has to be some kind of force, to make that change. But that that may not be a violence, but it is a force to establish justice, equality, brotherhood, and that is what it means in this book. And further, I may get something explained in my other conversation with you. For now, this is with the annihilation of caste, and further I may come up with some other videos also. So stay tuned, and you can just comment whatever you want, and you can ask for whatever you need. Uh, as I told you, I will be doing the conversation on the discussion on the annihilation of course, and I did. And thank you very much for giving your support and effort to comment and subscribe and all those things which you give me. uh, I'm very much grateful to you people, and thank you so much. I would definitely like to thank you all and for your support and love. And further, I would make some new videos on some other topics, or as the comments and discussion comes, I would be making discussion and videos in that concern. So finally, I would like to thank you and say all of you very much. You know, I would definitely like to uh, discuss more things with you. And thank you so much. And Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhaya. Thank you all.